Today, we're going to be talking about some advice that all youth wide receivers need to hear. So, this is a clip from our camp that we had in Los Angeles, California. And this is an example of a wide receiver. And again, this kid's obviously only like 12 years old, like huge for a 12-year-old, by the way. But this is just an example of what we see a lot of kids, a mistake that they make at the top of the route, which causes them to be slow out of their breaks, but also slip and fall at the top of their break. So, I'm going to play this full speed, and then we're going to break down ultimately what went wrong at the top of this break. Obviously, you see him fall down, and obviously, you see the throws out in front of him. So let's talk about it, right? So I think what a lot of receivers will do at a young age, and like the reason why I think that this is important for younger guys to understand is because it's all about building habits, right? Like if you're a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, and you're not practicing consistent habits, it's going to be very, very tough long-term for you to develop as a receiver. You need to focus on the details, right? So when he's about to make this cut, I want you to pay attention to his body. So pay attention to his upper half. He's running like an out route where he's cutting off of a single foot. So look at his shoulders and look at his hips. Before the foot is getting down, you see how he's already starting to turn with his hips, turn with his shoulders, and that foot gets outside of his frame, and that's ultimately where the slip is going to happen, right? Now, remember, guys, when we cut off at any route, whether it's just like a post route, whether it's a corner route, whether it's a dig, whether it's an out route, the cut is what gets me out. We want to cut first. Now, obviously, this is an out route, which is a timing route, and I'm throwing this thing early. The receiver's got to snap his head around, but we cannot forget about my feet. So when you guys go here, we want to cut first. Like I want to cut, I want to keep my hips, I want to keep my shoulders vertical until my foot gets down. So if you guys are running a post route, just a simple post, you want to keep your hips and your shoulders vertical until the foot strikes. Then off of the foot, I want to push to be able to get out of there. I don't want to be trying to snap my head, turn my shoulders, get my hips out before the foot gets down because that's when it gets outside my frame. Now, let's say, for example, he doesn't slip in this situation, but his shoulders and hips and his head still turn. Because some of you might do this and he may not slip, but you just don't realize it. I want you guys to pay attention to where his knee is right now. You see how his knee is kind of caved in? You see how his ankle, his shin, his knee is all facing towards the ground, right? Guys, this looks a lot like a position where a wide receiver who maybe has a little bit more weight, has a little bit more like development to him, could hurt himself and hurt his knee really, really bad. Because you see like clips of examples of like, there's two Alabama receivers in the past that injured their knee, right? One of them was, I think, like Jameson Williams. And Jameson Williams, when he cut, his knee looked a lot like this and tore his ACL. And doing this over and over and over again without proper correction, without focusing on your form. At your age, like all these people back here in line are like 9, 10 years old. Like this guy's obviously only 12. You don't have enough reps yet. But wait till you've been doing something for that long, from 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then when you start to get to high school and you weigh a lot more, you have a lot more weight, and you try to cut like this, and all it takes is just one wrong step and that knee is ultimately gone. So guys, you have to practice good cutting form, especially when you are a younger wide receiver. When you guys make a cut, it needs to be the cut first. I'm not trying to get out with my body. I'm not trying to snap my head too soon. Let's cut first, then let's push off of the cut so I don't end up slipping and ultimately falling. Okay, you guys? So I'm going to play this full speed one more time. Let's just make sure that we avoid that habit. Now, another thing that younger wide receivers need to focus on is obviously their hands. But there is a key mistake that a lot of youth wide receivers make when it comes to catching the football that I ultimately want to discuss. But before we get into that, fellas, if you would like to attend one of these camps that we are showcasing right now in this video, check out that very first link in the description below, you guys, where you're going to be coming out to 15 different cities across the country in 2024 for 2-day long QB and wide receiver training camp. So guys, check out that very first link in the description below. Again, we're coming out to San Francisco, Orlando, Phoenix, Charlotte, Austin, Las Vegas, Seattle, Chicago, Newark, Birmingham, Houston, Boston, Columbus, Boise, and Los Angeles, California. So guys, if you want to sign up, if you want to attend one of our camps, all these camps will sell out within the next 2 to 3 months. Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you there. It's where you can find all the information, the locations for each camp, and all that good stuff. So guys, very first link below. Let's get back to this video. So let's talk about catching now. So in this specific example, this is a great, I guess say is a great example of what receivers shouldn't do at a catch point. You don't want to be that guy that like kind of clasp your hands at the ball. Ball is in the air. Right? everybody talks about like, oh, what kind of positioning do you want with your hands? And this is why, again, I say this for youth receivers, because I'm hoping that high school guys, maybe older middle school guys, kind of have this down by now. But maybe you don't. Maybe it's a good reminder. Maybe it's a good refresher, especially if you're new to the position. But when you catch the ball, what's that magic spot that you always want to be in? You want to be in that diamond, right? So in this case, this is not the diamond. You see how his thumbs are really wide. You see how like the index fingers are really wide. What you want to do to be in a diamond is you want to connect your index fingers and you want to connect your thumbs. And that like diamond position right there is how we want to catch football, right? But now, even if he did get to a perfect diamond at the catch point and he gets fairly close, you don't want to go from a position of being wide with your hands. You don't want to go wide to the ball. What you want to do is you want to be running, obviously, towards the ball, and you want to have your hands close together initially. When it's time to go catch the ball, you want to have your hands super close together and go straight to it. You want to have that diamond go to the ball. You don't want to go and make this really wide circle and try to clasp at the ball and try to make that diamond at the catch point. Let's already have the diamond and go to the actual ball. And that will make you a much more consistent pass catcher. I wanted to showcase this because a lot of receivers do this, and a lot of young receivers don't even know that they're doing it. They think that they're doing the diamond, but it's really about having the diamond at an earlier point. So I'm going to play this again full speed one more time. So guys, make sure that we don't clasp at the ball. Make sure we are going straight to the ball from that diamond position.